Well, it's Tuesday, and we have Andrew here. Well, thank you, Andrew.
Morning, Vincent.
And we'll see the week ahead,
Yep.
and also I'll pick a word of the day.
All right.
Go ahead.
Sounds good. So what's happening today? Well, if you're down at the airport, you might see our legislators taking off for their big investigation into poverty in Taiwan and Japan. So some of our regular viewers might have remembered that we talked about this before. They were originally thinking of going to like Helsinki and all these exotic Scandinavian locations, and saner heads rose up and said, guys, really? Is that relevant? So instead they're going to keep it a little closer to home. They're looking at Taiwan and Japan, and they'll head off today, and we'll be looking in the week ahead to hear about what they learn over there, what they see, what might be relevant to apply here in Hong Kong.
What do they want to see?
That's a bit of a mystery, legislators head off on these junkets, and they just say they want to see how they're handling poverty.
All right.
So usually what will happen is they'll throw up a couple of priorities like housing and welfare payments, and then the local governments will plan an agenda for them.
Yeah.
To go around and see this. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see where they go, what they do. The government will release photos of them, looking at things, looking interested in whatever it is they're looking at. What they bring back, I think, will be the most interesting part, and hopefully towards the end of this week we can start to expect some of the feedback from that coming through.
Well, I have a problem for you.
Okay.
Actually, I think both the legislators and also the government officials are quite shy.
Yeah.
When they want to, when they are invited to talk about their overseas trips.
Yeah.
It seems to me that they are very embarrassed to talk about that. It seems that they might be too relaxed in this trip rather than a study tour.
Yeah.
It becomes more like a leisure tour.
Yeah.
But it is not. Actually, they have very tight and packed programs.
Yeah.
They have to see a lot of officials, a lot of politicians, and have to do a lot of site visits. Why are they so shy about that? I mean...
Well, I think part of that probably has to do with Donald Tsung's exit, when it said, when he was doing these official trips, and it wasn't clear what the objective was, and some of the expenses came to light, and they were quite extravagant. And I think that the legislators are very mindful of that. Perhaps the way to counter that is just by being upfront about what their expenses are going to be, and, if they do that, then they can also be more vocal about what they learn on these trips, because I think that's really, value for money. Okay, if you keep your costs down, that's fine, but we really want to know what they got out of it.
Yeah.
What are they going to bring back that we can apply here in Hong Kong?
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. I hope that we're going to get some. We had a personal experience with that. Jasper Tsang.
Oh, really?
The speaker, earlier this year, he went to the UK.
Yes.
To have a visit with the Speaker of the House in Britain, and at Harbour Times, we were very interested in that, and we called up his office.
Obviously.
Yeah, we called up, no comment. We called the Speaker's office in Britain. They would not comment on the trip, but I was hoping for a little meet because even before that, the Canadian Speaker had gone to Britain. Yeah. And while he was there was a big punch-up in one of the bars in the House of Commons, and I thought maybe Jasper might have gotten, could have shown them some of his kung fu moves. He dresses the dress. I don't know if he's got the moves, but really they were really tight-lipped about anything that happened, all off the record. They didn't want to talk about it, and so I'm hoping that we're going to get more out of our legislators that go to Taiwan and Japan.
I've heard so many politicians, both the government officials and also the legislator, criticizing Hong Kong people always too inward-looking. Yeah. They look at nitty-gritty issues. They should be focusing the world. Yeah. And actually, they have seen the world, and they should report it back to Hong Kong. They can be they can be our eyes, our ears. Yeah. Right. So I think the key word for today is outward-looking.
Absolutely.
Or outward.
Absolutely.
If you went to the world, bring the world back to Hong Kong and let us know what you have learned.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let us know that it's money worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, Vincent.
All right. Good.
All right.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.